What's up? My name's Glueboy. Welcome back to the channel, and today, brand new thing. Big news for this channel. I'm covering new lore. Kinda. I'm not like first to this, obviously, but we're gonna be talking about actually a very recent addition to 40k lore, and honestly, a character I think is a fantastic addition. This dude absolutely rules. We're talking about Vashtorr the Arkifane. So Vashtorr is a very interesting entity, and I think it's the best way you can describe him because he is a chaos demon, which also, by the way, forgive me, you'll be seeing the same couple of pictures a lot. There's not much art in him, but he is specifically considered almost like a demigod. And I don't mean that in the way of like Percy Jackson to Tzeentch who got his bird rocks off. I mean like he is a lesser god in a way. Specifically a god of like innovation, science, technology, crafting, like that level. And it's interesting that part too, because the big thing with Vashtorr is he is considered separate from the other chaos gods. Something he declares himself. He's his own like sovereign citizen. But he isn't really related to any of the gods. And as such, I mean, I don't think we actually know how he was created or where he came from, which puts him in a really interesting camp, which led me down a fun little rabbit hole of demons that kind of share this strange difference, because a lot of times demons are specifically made of just general warp stuff and kind of like parts of gods. Like, you know, you have your bloodletters, your like Slanesh demons, like those are minor demons that are created from the gods. And then you have stuff like demon princes. Those are people who were elevated to demonhood, like they were a person, now a demon, usually by a god, and their free will is taken away. Not the deal with Vashtorr. He's a demon through and through, no old human life, that we know of at least. Which, like I said, puts him in a very interesting camp when it comes to his fellow demon brethren, as like he breaks some of the rules in a cool way. There are other ones who do kind of similar things. Specifically, the not being aligned to any god part. Specifically, we have like Be'lakor, who is a demon prince and has a special tag because he is the first demon prince, and as such, he was elevated by all four gods. Another demon you can give this weird, unique tag to is a pretty important demon named Medile, who is pretty notable for two reasons. First, kind of lesser, is this guy is a like greater demon of chaos undivided, which is major. That's interesting, weird. Not many characters have that tag other than Be'lakor, but he gets special privileges because Be'lakor. And also, this is the guy that through the heresy, his task was to try to like corrupt Sanguinius and take him to the heresy. So, pretty important character, interesting fella. And then other than that, we have Drakion, who is very notable because he's a sword. Yeah, he's a demon bound to the blade of Drakion. He's also really interesting because Drakion was made from the first murder humanity ever like did, Cain and Abel, that style thing, and then poof, he appeared into the universe. And now he's a sword. And those are the three that I think are the most unique that can possibly be sharing a slight little category with Vashtorr here. But if there are any more, please comment away. Let me know if I'm missing any cool demons. The other thing that sets Vashtorr apart from his other demonic counterparts is that god bit I mentioned, because Vashtorr here is aspiring to be the 5th chaos god. Big goals, I know, which he's currently actually able to get his own form of worship. In fact, he even has his own like cult you can run in the game, by the way. They're pretty cool. But Vashtorr is the god of, like I said, innovation, science, creation, and it's specific and interesting because now you can normally worship a chaos god as you do. Say you worship Khorne, and you can go on a righteous slaughter, killing everyone, let the blood flow, and Khorne's pretty a-okay with it. Or you can feed Khorne by, say, someone wronged you horribly and you killed them in an act of revenge. Now, while you could say this is a bit more noble, this still feeds Khorne. And the same with Vashtorr, because Vashtorr specifically, imagine you are on your little remote planet and you're some inventor and you're creating a new like weapon to help protect your city from some large threats. And over time, that innovation starts changing a little bit. Instead of just protecting the town, it's becoming stronger and stronger, and you decide to, you know, these moral things are a bit too like restricting. I'll start testing my weapon on like live human subjects until eventually it becomes a horrible warp thing. It's that sense of innovation at all costs. Anything else that gets in the way, pointless, get rid of it. The progression of science through like no regard for human life. That feeds Vashtorr, which he goes through in his good old Soul Forge, which is a thing that is responsible for a lot of horrific things, like soul grinders, and any other just Daemon engine you can find. If it's in the like Chaos Marine Codex and it has a Demon engine tag, Vashtorr's probably made one or many. Speaking of this Demon Forge, it actually leads to something really interesting, because Vashtorr deals in absolute contracts. Now, unlike a lot of other demons, he doesn't play the great game. He's not trying to like undermine people. You want his services. His services as a master forger. Essentially what he is a demon arms dealer. So he'll make an offer to mortals when they seek his services in massive wartime. You give him a certain number of souls and you'll get a certain number of weapons, engines, whatever you need. But those souls have to be dedicated to Vashtorr, which go right back into his Forge of Souls, which, like, imagine a blacksmithery, but it has, instead of fire, it's a pool of souls, to make things extra evil and spooky. And that's something good old Abaddon noticed. Since Abaddon and Vashtorr are working together now, they're best buddies because they both have a shot at something bigger. Now, Abaddon is really interesting because Abaddon is the champion of all four Chaos Gods, but does not want to like worship them or give them anything in return. In fact, if he didn't have to, he wouldn't be worshiping the Chaos Gods in any way. He would have nothing to do with them. And the thing is, Vashtorr is also trying to separate himself, so they're both in this position of like becoming best buds, which they're not becoming because they're not working on the Arks of Omen, which the Arks of Omen are space hulks, but different. Now, space hulks are essentially a lot of derelict ships that go into the warp, get murdered horribly, are then fused together through awful warp energies, because that's all the warp is, fuses these ships together, and sometimes they just pop out into real space. They're fucking massive, and usually filled with something horrific and evil, like gene stealers, demons, tyranids, like all the stuff. So you take these space hulks that kind of just float aimlessly through space, unless someone like goes in there and deals with it, and then you give it weapons, an actual kind of working crew, and like a demon pilot, and you have an Arks of Omen. And something that was specifically noted by Abaddon is he noted how honest Vashtorr was. Vashtorr speaks plainly, does not speak in lies, and will just be straightforward. Like, I want this, you're gonna give me this, we're gonna become business partners, booyah demon capitalism. Like, that's his whole vibe. I don't know how Abaddon could get this, because Vashtorr here talks like a demented bumblebee.
I am Vashtorr, Arkifane.
Cool as shit. Vashtorr's voice is like one of my favorite things about it. It's so creepy, and that's the whole thing. He's so spooky. I love it. Despite the fact you can kind of barely understand what he's saying. You have to like listen to it multiple times, but whatever. But yeah, that's Vashtorr the Arkifane. Very cool character, currently on his way with Abaddon for helping Abaddon to go kill Big E and crush the Imperium, and Abaddon's helping Vashtorr become a new god. All done deal, everyone's gonna be happy in the end, I bet. Maybe this time Chaos will get a win. Doubt it. But anyways, that's gonna be all from me. If you like this, like, comment, subscribe, join my membership, do YouTube stuff, and